All right. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney WTF. This is episode 16, and we're a Disney couple. For those of you that don't know, one of us is a Disney fanatic, and one of us just doesn't get it. Headlines.
All right, let's start off with some headlines.
Yeah.
So, first headline, kind of the big news this upcoming weekend, Universe of Energy at Epcot and Great Movie Ride at Hollywood Studios are going to be closing on August 13th, which is a Sunday. And so Disney was generous enough, and I'm kind of using generous in air quotes, but it is kind of a nice thing to do.
I didn't see you do air quotes.
Theoretical air quotes.
Okay.
That's true, I didn't do air quotes. So they were nice enough to open up the blackout dates for those who had passes who blacked out, like Richie and I.
Is that what you just announced not too long ago about on Instagram? That they opened up the dates? It was for this?
Yeah.
It was for the closing of this ride?
Yeah, they wanted Disney fans to be able to experience the ride for one last time, which technically they would have been able to if they would have gone Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because that's when the passes would have just opened up naturally.
Yeah.
But I think they understood that not everybody can go those 3 specific days, maybe. So they gave them from August 1st to August 13th when they close.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I will not be one of those people who are going to be able to experience these rides for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know, but we didn't know.
But there's so much available, like on YouTube, that you can relive this literally every 5 minutes or however long those rides are. You can relive it all the time because of YouTube now.
Yeah, that's true. But not in person.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's different.
Yeah, it is. But what are you going to do? Time happens. Things move on, I suppose. But yeah, so that's going to be the big news that's happening this week. Another thing that Disney announced, and I think this is kind of crazy, Florida residents can get free valet parking and an appetizer included with an adult entree at certain restaurants.
Nice. You need, like you said, Florida residents, so you need to have your ID with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Makes
cool.
it seem like that. So I guess they're trying to attract more local business to these restaurants. And granted, it's not very many restaurants. It's like 4 right now. So Jico at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is one of the restaurants that I really care for. Flying Fish at Boardwalk, Citricos at Grand Floridian, and there was one more. Maybe not. Oh, Artist Point.
Oh, there you go.
Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge, one of
Nice,
Richie's
nice.
favorite places on property now.
That place was really cool.
So, I mean, that's pretty awesome because you can get valet parking for free, which is normally about $20, which is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And you can get a free appetizer with every adult entree.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, at these particular restaurants, an appetizer can be anywhere from like $10 to $17, so it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, definitely.
So, thank you, Disney. Can't wait to experience that when we go back. Yeah, that's all I got for right now.
All the headlines you have.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we talking about today? I mentioned Epcot when we were thinking about our next episode idea. What are we going to talk about Epcot specifically? Or in generally?
Your question was the it's officially called Innnoventions.
Okay.
The Innnoventions area, what was that before it was Innnoventions?
Yes, that was my question. I wanted to know because the last time we were at Epcot, I remember, or maybe the previous couple times, we went into this green home that had a bunch of crazy technology, but it seems like that was fairly new stuff. So I wanted to know like what was there before.
Yeah, and I feel like you can't really appreciate Innnoventions without kind of knowing the history behind Epcot, and we've gone over it briefly before, but I do want to mention just a little bit to you.
So we're doing history of Epcot.
First, a history lesson.
I'm really excited.
All right, and it involves Walt, so I know you're going to love it.
Good, okay.
All right, so back when Walt Disney was exploring what he was going to build in Florida, he considered Epcot, so the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Epcot,
Yes.
the most important part of his Florida project.
Really? I remember being mind blown when you told me what Epcot meant. I really thought I thought it was like Google because
Like it was just a word.
Yeah, because Google was like an accident name. Like there's no actual real meaning behind Google, and it just stuck. And I thought that's what Epcot was. I didn't know it had this crazy meaning.
Well, it is crazy how Google's like a verb, a noun. It's so many things.
Yeah.
Anyways, anywho, this is not about Google. So Epcot. So it was going to literally be this community where you could live, work, play on Disney property. And to some degree that got realized in Celebration, Florida, which is kind of like a community that is done by Disney.
Okay.
But that's a topic for another show. So when they realized that idea wasn't going to be able to pan out, they were trying to figure out what were they going to do with this next park. And so Imagineers, half of them wanted to do a World's Fair, a showcase of different countries, different cultures, and then another half wanted to do things about technology. So what they ended up doing was merging these two ideas together, which is how we have Future World, which encompasses everything that's not World Showcase, and World Showcase.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. And so part of Innnoventions is showcasing technology. And so originally it wasn't called Innnoventions, though. It was called Communicore. And it was supposed to be it's literally geographically the center of Future World. And it was going to be like a hub for where, I saw something at the Living Seas or Universe of Energy, and I want to explore that concept more. Let me go to Communicore where I can explore this concept more in like an interactive game or an interactive exhibit. It almost reminds me of a children's museum.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was initially also. It just looked like a museum, but it was really for adults.
Because the children don't like it?
Well, I mean, it's for children also, but it also had things that adults can appreciate. Like we did the hurricane experience or tornado experience or whatever. That was pretty cool.
I think it was a hurricane or tornado. Yeah, it was a windstorm of some kind.
Some sort of storm experience. That was cool though.
Yeah, so now what they have is all of these sponsors that will, not so much anymore over the years, but they have sponsors that have their own little setup inside the pavilion. And so the Smart House that we saw, that was sponsored by a company.
Yeah, I saw that there were some solid money-making things going on in there.
Which as an adult, it makes me think like, I know what you're doing here. Yeah. You're making money off of this. Yeah. You're trying to sell me on this house, and it's working.
I wanted to buy everything that was there.
I know, it was pretty cool.
I think I kept like the pamphlet, and I wanted to get everything.
And although that was still probably a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we're now slowly trying to piece by piece all that stuff.
But I really wonder now if you were to go back into that Smart House that they used to have, if it would be as relevant to you.
Wait, that Smart House is not there anymore?
They closed it.
What's there now?
Now there's not much there. It looks like they're trying to reinvent this area of the park. So the only thing that lies there right now is a color exhibit by Glidden. So it's sponsored by Glidden Paints, and it's an experiments in color.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's definitely an area of transition. I think Epcot as a whole is in transition, especially since all the recent announcements that have happened. Just resort wide. And I mean, it's really interesting because as you asked me that question, I kind of thought to myself, was Disney, or not Disney, Epcot always a park for adults? Was it more meant for kids? Because it's just really transitioned from, something where it was like, it's supposed to be this technology showcase and a World's Fair, which, is not super appealing towards kids. And then they transitioned something like the Living Seas, which used to have, it still had the aquarium, but it used to have this very dramatic video about, the water on Earth, a deluge. Which I should have shown you the video before this because you're looking perplexed at me right now.
Yeah, I had no idea what you're talking about, really. I'm just going with it here.
But then they changed it into a Finding Nemo ride.
Oh, okay.
So I think that they're really trying to kind of shift directions into something that's a little bit more...
Kid-friendly?
Kid-friendly,
which
family-friendly.
Sucks because I remember when, being in school, a lot of people, like young adults, like between 18 and 25, was like Epcot, for... food and wine, for whatever there, it was always like we're going to Epcot, and it seemed like it was more for adults. And there was a point in time that I didn't even like Epcot to me wasn't Disney. Like I remember being like in the mind where like I was like, oh snap, like Epcot is Disney. I had no idea. I thought it was separate, and because it's not kid friendly, so I really didn't know, but.
And another question you asked me before we recorded was, what's there to do at Epcot when there's not a festival?
Yes, like what's there to do in the downtime? Because the biggest things are food and wine, flower garden, and is there anything else, or is just those two that are real big?
This year they had the inaugural Festival of the Arts, so that means there's 3 festivals that happen.
So is that like a
during the year?
Is that like a Art Basel?
It's kind of, I guess. It's like an art showcase. I would say it's more like Coconut Grove Art Festival. So it's like an art showcase where they have booths of different artists, and it's a lot of Disney-themed art.
Oh, cool.
That you can buy.
When is that?
It's in like February. It was February this past year. I went, remember?
We missed it? Oh, yeah, I missed it.
You did miss it.
Oh, shoot.
I drove up by myself. It was lonely.
When did you do that?
In February.
Oh, I don't remember. Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
I can't always make the trips that she wants to go on because it's literally every weekend that if it was up to her, we would do, and I can't do it.
Just a day. No. Let's just go up for the day.
Anyway, so.
Yeah. So what's there to do when there's not a festival? Well, there's everything in Epcot that you can do. And it's kind of good because festivals tend to attract a lot more crowd levels.
So it's like more busier and packed? Yeah.
So you can kind of ride the rides easier. You can walk around and enjoy the beautiful flowers and landscaping.
They have fast passes also, right?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how much, we'll continue on, but first, how much time is there that there's downtime? Is there a number? Is it always change? Like, is there a certain, like, okay, from this month to this month, there's downtime, and this month, like, is there a specific time of that, or all these dates, like, always change?
By downtime, you mean time when there's not a festival?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So it's usually every 2 to 3 months where there's not a festival. So, for instance, Flower and Garden ends in May.
Okay.
Food and Wine starts at the end of August.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Gotcha.
So like right through the doldrums of summer, there's nothing. And then this past year, Food and Wine stopped in November, and then Festival of the Arts started in February. So there's really only about 2 to 3 months in between these festivals.
Cool.
So
okay, so it's a good time to be in less crowded situations. What else?
Yeah. So, and then you can just enjoy everything that the park has to offer. So, these are kind of like add-ons. You have a little bit more food, a little bit more selection and drinks, but really, I think Epcot is one of those places that you don't even need all these festivals to have a great time and enjoy a lot of culture. Because you have you still have a great showcase of technology, like Living with the Land, for instance. You go through the greenhouse and you're on the boat, and you see all the giant sunflowers and how they're farming fish, and you see scientists in a window culturing some sort of genetically modified plant of some kind.
Yeah, which I want to do that thing the next time we go, the behind the scenes thing. I want to do that one with the garden stuff, and then
behind
also
the
scenes, and then
seeds.
Oh, seeds.
Yes.
Oh, huh. Nice play on words there. And then I also want to do that one of Magic Kingdom, the behind the scenes one, next time we go. So I'm recording it here, so you can't say it until you to.
Wouldn't it be shouldn't that be the other way around?
I know. I'm just letting you know. Anyway.
So you can really just enjoy all that Epcot has to offer. And I know that might sound kind of like a lame thing to do, but like really all those other experiences are just, they're just add-ons. Like, it's nice to have them, but I don't think you need them.
I just hit my mic. I'm sorry, guys. I'll have to edit that out.
Like for instance, one of your passions now is traveling. Look at all the different,
it's your passion still.
I thought it was yours now.
I only travel because you want to go places, and I just want to make you happy.
Oh.
I just want to, and I want to be able to have a say in where we go, but I wouldn't be traveling as much as I do if it wasn't for you, which I love, by the way. I mean, it's just for the record.
That's why I said now. Yeah. One of your passions now.
Now because of you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
So you can go to all these countries and talk to all these different people from all parts of the world without even leaving Florida. Like, how lucky are we to be exposed to that kind of thing?
Which is crazy because, like, the world has that and they get to see that there, but it's actually funny because we actually have that here in Miami also. Like, there's so many people that from all over the world that we interact with sometimes that you can just meet by going to a restaurant, but there it's like there it's more, because here it's like people living here, so like Americanized. But the people at Disney, it's like, yo, we just got here like 2 weeks ago from Sweden. Like, so at Disney, it's like, it's definitely to another level, I would say.
Yeah.
Like that type of interaction, world interactions.
Yeah. And fun fact, so the World Showcase pavilions, they're sponsored to some degree by the countries that are hosting it. So the countries that you see there had a lot of say in what goes on in building their pavilion. And here's an even funner fact. Morocco, the king of Morocco at the time, their architect, their planner, master planner, they came in and designed all of what you see in the Morocco pavilion.
That's an interesting fact. So this Moroccan dude came in and designed everything. Like without like...
Well, I don't want to say everything, but I think that it was heavily influenced by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Like it's legit.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah. And again, it's nice to have all the concerts of, your favorite 80s and 90s stars during these festivals. Maybe not you, maybe more so me.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary to have a great time at Epcot these days.
Yeah.
Even though it is in this state of transition where it's not quite what it was before. And they're trying to change things like Universe of Energy. They're going to convert it into more Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So, but it's still one of those places that I would love to go and I could go there every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you can. I'm super confident you can do that every single day. Just go there. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know. Just at some point, I feel like I've seen it all, but.
You know what's crazy? Epcot used to be more educational, and less, especially now than what it is now. So they used to have a vegetable and fruit puppet show. In Living with the Land, like in that pavilion, and it used to teach you about eating healthy. And then there used to be a ride called Body Wars that took you inside of somebody's body and showed you that they were sick, and these are the white blood cells and the red blood cells. We've reached the cerebellum because you got shrunk down. It's like Magic School Bus. You get shrunken down and you go inside.
So why did those things go away?
I guess Disney felt that it wasn't appropriate for the direction of the park. Maybe it wasn't popular enough. But it definitely used to have more educational aspects. And then there was also a ride called Horizons, where Mission Space is, and people considered it like Carousel of Progress Part 2. And
was Part 2 some play on words?
No, I just wanted to say do instead of two.
Oh, okay.
So So it showcased, future technology. But it was kind of like future technology in 1980s,
Okay.
So, but it was like a continuation of Carousel of Progress. Not literally, but that was the concept that it had. But all that is gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they have more rides, more kid-friendly things that kids would be interested in. Because, what's not better than a puppet show that's kid-friendly, but it wasn't interesting to kids.
Yeah.
So, and I think that even so, Epcot's always tried to have like this background of education. Education in ethical morals in a way. Because even in Living with the Land, there's a Lion King show that shows you how to protect the environment, which is still playing, and I can't believe it because it's been around forever.
They probably, it's probably like a core, like a core belief that it's just not gonna, like if anything, they would just like update it and continue to spread that word of like environmental friendly. Because even like Animal Kingdom, like one of the big things about everything I hear about in Animal Kingdom is about the environment. So I feel like there's someone either internally or something with Disney that's like real, like, yo, we need to care about the earth.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Although something that I think that maybe I neglected to mention is maybe it's about sponsors. Maybe they stopped sponsoring things and they had to take it out because there was nobody to upkeep the ride.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Which brings me to another thing about Epcot that's recently changed. So remember before the show I asked you what Siemens is? So Siemens used to sponsor Illuminations, which is the fireworks show at the end of the day. And
At Epcot? Okay.
yeah. So, and they used to have a lounge inside Spaceship Earth. They called it the Siemens Lounge. But apparently, Siemens wanted to do some kind of a sponsorship of Disney monorails, like a big thing. So they were like, okay, like, we're going to offer you this, like, as a part of their contract. But Disney said, no, we don't want that. And they abruptly pulled out. So they are no longer a part of Disney.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
It's all business.
I know, and that's the thing. I feel like we talk all about this, like, oh, it's for the kids don't want it. But really, at the end of the day, a lot of it is probably sponsorships. Yeah.
But people, you know, even though it is like, and the crazy thing is there's this real big, like, I mean, we say like, oh, it's just business, but everything that we do is business. And like, whether it's like, for example, like being in healthcare, everyone in healthcare, yes, we care so deeply in trying to help people. But at the end of the day, like, it could always and only like survive because of business and, you know, business practices. So like, and I think it's the same thing with like Disney and Disney's magic. Like, yes, like it connects on an emotional level in so many different ways. And it's super important to kids, and obviously it's super caring, but at the end of the day, none of it can be sustainable or continue to go on without like
business relationships,
like hardcore business practices, you know? So even though it sounds like our tone might be like in a negative light, like it should be actually a really good thing, because that means it's going to keep going and keep getting better.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very fine point.
Yeah.
Something I also wanted to tell you about Illuminations, since just on the topic of Epcot, and I think you
fireworks?
The fireworks,
okay.
yes.
I keep forgetting what it's called.
So something about Epcot fireworks are really, really different from Magic Kingdom fireworks. So Magic Kingdom fireworks, you know, it's all about happily ever after and wishes, and it's just a beautiful fireworks set to an amazing Disney score, and it's just about making your dreams come true. Well, Illuminations is more dramatic, and I don't remember if you remember seeing it, but the overarching theme of Illuminations is supposed to be that we are all united as one tribe on Earth. And so from beginning to end, they show the creation of Earth all the way to the end, when we all come together as one.
I had no idea. I thought it was just a bunch of frigging fireworks, like just blasting off at random.
It is that too.
I don't think so.
But
not based off what you just told me. It's a whole storyline.
Yeah, it is.
With a plot twist. Like,
I know there is a plot twist. We are one?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that when you see those kind of like understories, which you wouldn't if you just kind of casually went to the parks, but once you realize those types of things, that as a Disney fan, that's what keeps me coming back. Because then you can watch Illuminations for literally like the 100th time, and you can kind of try to follow along with the story that they're telling you, because since it's so kind of abstract because it's told through fireworks.
Yeah, your imagination can kind of also take over and maybe have like different scenes in your head, like for the different things. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that real differently now. I think.
Can't wait till we go back.
Yeah.
October. We're going for Mackenzie's birthday, by the way. I'm announcing it here.
Oh, okay, cool.
My niece. She's turning 2.
Yeah.
And we're going for her birthday.
Cool.
She loves Minnie.
One day Mackenzie will listen to this, which is crazy.
I know, and then she's going to be like, that's me! Yeah, she's not going to listen to it. She's going to be way cooler than we are.
No, she's going to listen to it. You sit here and listen to this. Anyway.
I don't want to. Yeah, so I hope you get a little bit more about Epcot.
I do.
I know I kind of went all over the place, but I just want to throw it all at you and see what sticks.
No, I think I got a bunch of, interesting stuff out of there. I hope the listeners did too, so that was really cool. Awesome. Make sure, if you're listening in, make sure to subscribe, leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. We're also on YouTube, so subscribe there, leave us a comment. We'd like to hear what you think. And
we're on Instagram and Facebook too.
We are on Instagram, DisneyWTF.radio.
And Facebook.
Disney WTF. Oh, Twitter. We're on Twitter too. We need to be more active on Twitter though. And Medium. If you go to medium.com,
we are now on Medium. We are published.
You can see our Disney WTF publication and read some great words on what we have to say about Disney. So medium.com/Disney WTF.
Well, I just want to thank everybody once again for listening to this crazy train of a show.
Yes.
We hope you have a really, really magical day.
Nice.
Goodbye.